At Healthcare Partners Medical Group, our mission is to provide the highest quality of healthcare to each and every patient. With 5 locations in Pahrump, we are local doctors you know and trust. We want to thank you for choosing us. Quality care starts here.
Pahrump Nugget, Progressive Cash Drawings, Mystery Point Multipliers, Mystery Gift Days, Extra Cash for 4 of a kinds, Bingo, Bowling, Football, and Food Specials. Looking for constant action? Look no further. Pahrump Nugget Hotel and Casino.
News 46 is brought to you by Healthcare Partners. News is brought to you in part by One Nevada Credit Union, where right now you could refinance your auto loan with rates as low as 2.98% and no payments for 90 days for qualified members. Call us today for details. News 46 is also brought to you by the Bankruptcy Center of Pahrump. When it comes to sensitive matters like bankruptcy, take a breath of fresh air by calling an experienced and compassionate attorney at the Bankruptcy Center of Pahrump, 775-727-4747. News is also brought to you by Pahrump Dermatology and Skin Cancer. When you need the best dermatology care in Pahrump, call Pahrump Dermatology and Skin Cancer, 775-727-9800. News is also brought to you by the St. Therese Mission, a future venue for cultural and environmental events near Pahrump. Get involved. Visit us at sttheresemission.com or call 702-507-4172. News is also brought to you by Hope Counseling Services, where we specialize in behavioral health, inspiring hope for a brighter tomorrow. Call 775-727-0101 for more information.
Tonight on News 46, an aircraft crashes near Thousand Air in Oak Ridge.
Firefighters respond to the same house twice in one day.
A high school student is arrested for sex crimes. News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46. News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Good evening. It's Monday, May 14, 2012. I'm Zach Fuentes.
And I'm Monique Murphy for News 46. Ultralight aircraft crashed on Thousand Air Boulevard near Oak Ridge Saturday night.
Saturday night, approximately 7 p.m., what can only be described as possibly a homemade aircraft crashed near Thousand Air and Oak Ridge, approximately 7 p.m. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene along with Nye County Sheriff's deputies to find a small aircraft, which is being described as an ultralight. It has a small motor on the back as well as some kind of parachute. It seems to have crashed in front of the pilot's house on Thousand Air Boulevard. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue did transport the pilot with a possible broken leg and some bleeding underneath one of his arms to Desert View Hospital. The pilot's family came and took custody of the air crash and placed it inside their garage. Nye County Sheriff's deputies and detectives will be conducting this investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue responded for the second time to a home on Rancho Street on the east side of town for a structure fire on Friday night.
A structure fire was reported around 9 p.m. on Friday night here on Rancho off Corbin Street. There was a report here earlier of a burn victim who actually medics think might have possibly set himself on fire. We're going to speak to Fire Chief Scott Lewis.
Yes, we are. We were dispatched this evening for a report of a structure fire. Upon arrival, we found that, in fact, we did have a single-wide manufactured dwelling with heavy fire conditions in the central part of the structure. Had already self-vented through several windows and 2 open doorways. So in essence, we had a heavy fire condition. We also had discharging ammunition, which added to the dynamics of the initial scene size up in a risk assessment. As you can see behind us, there's a lot of personal property surrounding this structure. And by happen so, we had a burn victim here earlier today. And thus we had the opportunity to take a look on the inside, and we noted an overaccumulation of personal property throughout the structure. Having that awareness and knowledge tonight, we decided to play safe and do a defensive exterior attack with no commitment of personnel to the inside. All people were accounted for, so the life safety issues were taken away.
We were dispatched for a burn victim, like you said earlier here today, who possibly lit himself on fire. He's not here at the home at this time?
No, that person has since been transported to the hospital earlier today, and to the best of my knowledge, probably remains in the hospital. We're unable to determine exactly how that fire started, but there was some thoughts that possibly he had lit himself a fire either by accident or intentional. They're not really certain at this point.
So is this fire from earlier today that smoldered and turned into this structure fire, or do you think this is a new fire?
There's really no indication. The burn victim from earlier today was unable to provide us any information where the incident actually occurred, and there were no witnesses to it. The only other resident had been away from the property for approximately 2 hours. When the Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and I went into the structure, we found such an accumulation of personal property. There was no smoke or fire visible within the structure, and we were in there for, probably a good 10 minutes or so. But to be able to determine what exactly happened earlier today, we can't do that until he's able to tell us.
And we have a person here that lives in the home do you have any information as to how they discovered that the structure fire occurred?
Yes, thus far the initial interview suggested that he was watching television and then started beginning to smell smoke, investigated, and found a fire condition. He hasn't been clear as to where he saw that initial fire condition, but we're working on that now.
Once again, that burn victim was transported to the hospital. The investigation still continues whether that was an accidental fire and in fact he fell asleep and accidentally lit himself on fire with a cigarette, or if in fact he was actually trying to commit suicide. There have been reports that he has attempted this in the past. Of course, this home was a complete loss. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Rancho near Corbin for News 46.
And we'll have more for you after this break, so stay with us.
News 46 is brought to you by Affiliated Chiropractic and Affiliated Physical Therapy. Come in for your free consultation. Call 775-727-8900. Our goal is to create the individual treatment plan that will restore your health and end pain.
Welcome back. Rescue crews responded to a call regarding a fire under a manufactured home on Vondell Street Saturday afternoon.
Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's deputies responded to a home off Vondell Street on Saturday afternoon for an apparent structure fire. According to reports, the homeowner reported smoke coming from underneath this manufactured dwelling. Upon investigation, firefighters located an already extinguished fire underneath the house. The cause of the fire appears to be improper wiring. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue conducted the investigation. This is Deanna O'Donnell on Vondell for News 46.
An 18-year-old is arrested for allegedly coercing a juvenile into sex acts.
Deputies took a report reference an allegation of sex crimes, according to Tajade Saunders being the suspect. Deputies and general assignment detectives conducted an in-depth investigation and concluded that Saunders was angry with a juvenile female. As a result, he conjured up a story about his involvement with a gang out of Las Vegas. He then promoted this fabricated story utilizing emails, texts, and video chatting on the internet. According to Nye County Sheriffs, he twisted the story to be that he was going to suffer serious bodily harm or death as a result of a bad relation with a gang. He convinced several juveniles that this was legitimate and that if this juvenile female would not perform sexual acts on video, that he or his family would be killed. Under the ongoing threat or injury or death and the compelling force that went with it, Saunders was eventually able to force this juvenile female into these sex acts with himself and others. Saunders was booked in the Nye County Detention Center for the following charges: kidnapping, statutory sexual seduction, sexual assault of 2 counts, involuntary servitude, coercion, produce child pornography ×2, promote sexual performance of a child. He is being held on $375,000 bail. This is Deanna O'Donnell for News 46.
High school students assembled near a coffin in the school cafeteria on Friday for the Every 15-Minute program. The mock vehicle collision, which occurred near the school the day before, showed the realistic results of driving while impaired. The assembly brought home the idea to the hundreds who viewed graphic collision photos and heard true stories of lives tragically lost.
We're basically trying to teach kids the consequences of drinking and driving. So the presentation showed consequences that have happened in the past to all sorts of people. We had a guest speaker, Sandy Heverly, come out from Vegas.
18 years old and already accrued 2 prior DUIs. He was driving on a suspended license. He was speeding at 65 in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. He ran the stop sign and crashed into our truck and camper.
And she showed us pictures and shared stories about people who have been affected by drinking and driving, and it was really emotional.
Yeah.
And I think the message got out to them, though. Everyone paid attention and listened really well.
We had how many students, or was this just 11th and 12th grade?
Yeah, it was just 11th and 12th grade. We probably had around 500 students in here and parents that joined the kids that we chose to be part of the program. And so I'm just happy it all got out to the community.
Sandy spoke about her own personal experience as well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest reason why she does all of these presentations, is that it has affected her in her life, so she wants to get the message out and help prevent other incidents happening to innocent people like the one that happened to her.
You also did your own presentation from, I think it was the PACE program of the Don't Text and Drive.
Yeah, we decided to put that in the video because in the presentation today, because texting and driving is also starting to become one of those really big things that have been going on, and there's just been a lot of accidents lately because of it. So we also want to get the word out with the drinking and driving to just tell everyone how serious it can be.
And we'll have more after this break.